Everyone. Welcome to the City of Daly City Council meeting on Monday, January 22nd, 2024. There are three ways to submit public comments: submit written comments by the meeting day, 2, submit written comments during the meeting, and 3, attend the meeting in person. At this time, let's all rise for the Pledge of Flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Madam City Clerk, may I have roll call, please?
Ms. DiGiovanni,
Present.
Dr. Rod,
Present.
Mr. Buenaventura,
Present.
Mr. Sylvester. Mr. Sylvester contacted my office and said he wouldn't be here this evening. Ms. Manalo.
Present. Thank you very much. What did you just mention earlier, Madam Clerk, for Councilmember Sylvester?
I was contacted via email that Mr. Sylvester would not be here this evening.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Now moving on to presentations. And so today, I have the honor to provide a commendation for Pacific Islanders Together in regards to their Christmas giveaway. Really such an amazing event to witness. And really, it was, I'll read the whereases. So this commendation is for Pacific Islanders Together. Whereas the mission of the Pacific Islanders Together, PIT, is to provide and serve the Pacific Islanders and the broader Bay Area community with arts, cultural preservation, and raising awareness in health and wellness. And whereas the Pacific Islanders Together is a nonprofit founded in 2012 by President Reina Potimefua. The organization emphasizes bringing the community together. PIT delivers support through existing and influential programs and to serve those in need of help in our community. And whereas Pacific Islanders Together, its purpose to value diversity in arts and culture while enjoying good health and engaging in wellness. Whereas Pacific Islanders Together seeks to enrich the Polynesian Islanders community by developing programs that will promote pride, visibility, and unity within the community. PIT is dedicated to combining education and advocacy to expand opportunities for children and families while strengthening the voice of the Polynesian community. Whereas their goal is to develop and provide after-school programs, sports camp programs, academic enrichment programs, holiday outreach programs, and financial support programs for battered women and children, outreach programs for homeless, and management programs. These programs will strengthen relationships while establishing an environment that provides opportunity and growth with the Polynesian community. And whereas Pacific Islanders Together has continuously participated in Christmas in the Park's annual toys giveaway, serving youth and families in need for 6 years. Whereas a warm thank you to all the sponsors who dedicated their time to make 2023 Christmas in the Park annual Christmas toys giveaway a huge success. If you guess how many children they were able to serve, the event served 1,800 children. So now therefore, Jocelyn Manalo, Mayor, and the members of the City Council of the City of Daly City hereby commend Pacific Islanders together for their legacy and commitment in bringing the community together through their influential programs and celebrations. This is a commendation for Pacific Islanders together, but I also wanted to acknowledge the partners. It's such an intricate, like everyone, a hands on deck. I would say how they're so coordinated with all the gifts. It's literally it's well-oiled machine. I mean, seeing it for many, many years, and for being able to Pacific Islanders together, for being able to move into serving the community when COVID happened. So we've seen Christmas in the park when we were all under like one big, I would say, gym all together, but then also pivoting when you needed to, right? And having the cars. So I want to, at the same time, I'm going to call out all of the partners. I'm going to call out our very own Daly City's finest, the Daly City Police Department and the representative. Please come up as well. And then, of course, please come up, Pacific Islanders board members. Please come up. I want to call up... So if the representatives from Pacific Islanders together, please come up. We also have our former captain, Ronald Mussman. We have City Toyota, Eleanor Serrato. Our Daly City Fire Department. Sherritt Walker, JUHSD Board Clerk. Rick Abellana, BESD Board President. Also, if there's a representative from City Toyota. Saw her earlier, ASF Electric Incorporation. A representative from Republic Services. Bayshore Elementary School District. Representative from Jefferson High School. The Jefferson High School Athletic Boosters.
Yeah.
Our Jefferson High School Polynesian Club. Farmers Insurance, Kevin Tong. Clayton Koo. Representative from Vibes and Smiles. Reverse DNA. Rosie Tejada, JUHSD Board Trustee. Kalima Saluhaddin, a JUHSD Board President. Andrew Lee, JUHSD Board Trustee. And our BSD Board Vice President, Teresa Faupua. Janelle Cabanero, BSD Board Member. David Rudolph, BSD Board Clerk. Marian Brown, BSD board member. And I think that's it. I'm gonna head over there, and this is pretty amazing. This is how what a community looks like when they come together for the children. And so I just want to say thank you. And I'm heading over right now.
Mayor, the Tongan Church.
Huh?
The Tongan
Okay, I'll call them. And also, can we call up the Tongan Church up, please?
Bishop.
May we have Bishop Banuke up, please? Thank you so much.
And Councilwoman Pamela Giovanni.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And may I have my colleague, Councilwoman Di Giovanni? Okay. So, do you want to come over here? Okay.
Sorry.
Hey, Ellie, how are you?
Because you're fine.
Yeah, sure.
Go here and I'll move
Okay.
here.
So,
Thank you.
So I just want to share with all of you when the event happened. I was there at the event, and Sister Reina here is so amazing. And, you know, I wanted to honor them at the event there, but what was really special is to be able to honor them at the People's City Hall, right? And so that is something that each and every one of you volunteer, give your time, you're able to give back. I think PIT also does amazing work in the food distribution. So I think this is a moment to say thank you. Thank you for your commitment to the community. Thank you for your commitment to sharing with us the beautiful Polynesian culture. And you know, I went to Jefferson High School, so I got to be with all of our Polynesian brothers and sisters growing up. And so it's just a tremendous part of our community. You all continue to share. Look at this. We got our firefighters, our police officers, our elementary school district to the high school district, and really all of you are the heartbeat. Teresa Falpua, Reina. I want all the board members and members of PIT, can you please raise your hand? Ooh, because these are the unsung heroes. These are the unsung heroes that give so much time and effort and do it with their heart and a smile. And so with that, I do have this commendation for Pacific Islanders Together.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Can I just say a few words? Thank you.
Of course. Okay.
First and foremost, I want to give God all the glory and the praise. Without Him, none of this is possible. We've been doing the work for so many years. Finally being acknowledged in this level, at this capacity, is amazing. And it's all because of Him that this is possible. We get to meet wonderful people. That's every single one of you that are sitting on that chair is amazing. Our council members. Mayor Jocelyn Manalos has always been there with us, as well as Councilwoman Pamela Giovanni, as well as Glenn Sylvester. Ray, I see you up there, as well as Rod. All of them are amazing, amazing, amazing set of group that's always been here to support us. City of Daly City has always been here supporting Pacific Islands Together, as well as Tony. Tony, why are you there? Come up here. Tony, our superintendent, she's always, come on, Tony. Yeah, you know, everything that we do, the name reads Pacific Islands Together, but we support every single different groups, every different culture. That's who we support. That's who we support. We don't support just one group. We support all group. And I want to say on that note, if I will, I thought today was we're gonna be representing a Ceremony Del Rey. Sorry, I also am a product of Jefferson High School. I'm also a staff for Jefferson Union High School District. And I want to just touch, I know I'm so sorry, Mayor, if I could just do a minute of this. Just sorry, because she's going to get me afterwards. Ceremony Del Rey, SDR is such a powerful, powerful, powerful project. And we need those of you that's sitting up there, as well as us, the school board, the district, we all need to come together as one. In order for it to work, we have to come together as a family, as a team. Because what's about is about the community. It's about giving back to our district, and the most importantly, is to the kids. The kids is the ones that suffer. We are the lowest paying district in the county. And without the help from those people up there, it's not going to be possible, because we need to come together as one. And I'm sorry, I know this is not the day, but I was so geared up to speak about this. Sorry, Rod and Ray. You know me, Ray. Sorry.
It's all good.
Sorry. I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate. Where's Chief Christensen, Ernie, Captain? I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Thank you. This is just half of us. Bishop, all the way from San Mateo with the Tongan, the churches. Oh my gosh, you guys are amazing. All the way from San Mateo. Jesus Christ is the latest thing. Thank you. God bless you all. And thank you so much. I appreciate it. Get me after it. Okay? Thank you so much. Love you all. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, yeah, no, this one. I love you. Thank you.
I know, you don't either, I know.
You take a picture of a friend that we're in the band. Here, real quick. We're gonna do this again. I know you're busy, but we're gonna do this. Okay, real quick. 1, 2. I got it one, right? Okay, here we go. Thank you, Justin. Way to go. Way to go. Thank you so much.
Thank you, you have a great voice. You sing it.
I tried for the holidays.
No, you did good.
You're right, praise God.
Oh. Bertha's been sick.
Thank you so much. Now moving on. Oh, here we go. Also, the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saint Peninsula Second Ward.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was special. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
And now moving on to our second proclamation. National Gun Violence Survivors Week, January 22nd to 26th. Whereas January 22 to 26, 2024 will mark the 6th annual Gun Violence Survivors Week, when a time when we come together to share and amplify the stories and voices of gun violence survivors who live with the impact of gun violence every day of the year. Whereas every day in America, at least 120 people are shot and killed, more than 200 are shot and wounded, and countless others experience the collective trauma of gun violence. And whereas gun violence in any form can leave a lasting impact, whether someone has witnessed an act of gun violence, been threatened or wounded with a gun, or had someone they cared for wounded or killed with a gun, including but not limited to gun homicides, police violence, gun suicides, intimate partner violence involving a gun, mass shootings, and unintentional shootings. Whereas the trauma from gun violence ripples farther than we can imagine, impacting people across generations and geography beyond those shot and wounded, killed, families and friends and neighbors and extended communities that share the same identities as victims of gun violence feel the hurt when gun violence occurs. Whereas behind every gun violence statistic are countless stories of parents who never got to kiss their kids goodbye, gunshot victims living with physical and emotional wounds, entire families heartbroken by gun suicide or witness of gun crimes living with trauma. Whereas during the National Gun Violence Survivors Week, we take stock of all the terrible human toll of Americans' gun violence crisis and recommit ourselves to honoring survivors with action. Now, therefore, I, Jocelyn C. Manalo, Mayor and the members of the City Council, hereby proclaim January 2022 to 26 as National Gun Violence Survivors Week in the city of Daly City, and encourages the Daly City community to recognize the lasting impact gun violence has on individuals and communities, honor the survivors with support, and stand together against gun violence. I put this on the agenda because we know that there has been so many people that have been impacted by gun violence, losing a loved one or being shot themselves. And so as a community, we need to come together and make sure that there is the support, opportunities for healing with these traumatic incidents. And so I do have pins for my colleagues. It says end gun violence. And I ask my colleagues with me to join me in wearing these pins.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor.
And thank you. I think we stand united in fighting against gun violence. And so I would like to ask, and usually this is at the end of the meeting, but I really like to ask my colleagues together, and for those in the audience, can share with them that we will be doing a moment of silence for those who passed in Monterey Park, in our San Mateo community, just very recently, Half Moon Bay, and the countless lives taken. And those, we stand with those that have survived and continue to live through trauma and continued healing. And so for those lives lost, may we all have a moment of silence. Thank you very much. We are now moving on to our regular meeting minutes of January 8th, 2024. Do I have a motion to approve? First and foremost, do I have a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of January 8th, 2024?
Motion to approve?
Do I have a second?
Second. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Now may I have a motion to approve the agenda? A motion to approve agenda?
So moved.
I have a first.
Second?
Thank you. And second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. At this time, public appearances or oral communications.
Mayor, I think there's one card right there on the table right
Oh,
there.
okay. Madam City Clerk, is this for public comment, please? Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Okay, seeing no public comments for oral communications, moving on to consent agenda. Consent agenda.
Madam Mayor, may I pull item 8, please?
Okay, item number 8, Councilmember DiGiovanni.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Are there any other items to be pulled? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve all consent items with the exception of item number 8?
Motion to approve?
I have a first.
8.
I have a first.
Motion to approve any items, all items except for number 8. Yeah,
I
thank you.
have a first.
Yes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a second. Thank you very much. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. So, adopt resolution authorizing the execution of amendment to the employment agreement of the city manager, item number 8. You have, city staff. Thank you very much.
Would you just, excuse me, my voice is gone. You just like a brief report on this item?
Pardon?
Would you just like a brief report on the item?
Or the read, yeah. Well, according to the, because it's a contract, and it's my understanding that it's a contract. So under SB 1436, that any adjustments to a contract must be read orally. And if you can't do it with a voice, would you like Natalie or myself read it?
Okay. The proposed amendments to the contract is for the city manager. Basically, the terms to be adopted and considered by the council is a 2-year extension of the city manager's contract, which would include up to January 23rd, 2027. As part of the proposal, the base compensation would not take an effect as proposed. A 5% increase will not take effect until January 23rd, 2025 for the first year, and January 23rd, 2026 for the second year, with a 5% increase.
Thank you very much for that,
Yes.
City Attorney. I think your commentary was to have that read out loud. So I just want to say, as
I
mayor of
haven't
the
finished yet.
Daly City,
I'm the one that pulled the
I
item.
can. One moment. I'm
no
going to
order.
say a comment. I'll give you the opportunity. One moment. So I want to just say, as a mayor of Daly City, I can say without any hesitation that Mr. Piccolotti is worth his salary and much more. He has been with this organization for many, many years. His extensive experience and understanding of the complexities of our community make him uniquely qualified to manage our city departments and their vital services. So an investment in his leadership ensures that our city residents will have the quality of life and needs met. So I just want to say very clear, this is something I absolutely support. Councilmember DeJohnny, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. So let me begin by saying that according to the proposed contract extension, just to be clear for everyone out there and for the record, that currently there is a 2-year contract. This 2-year contract has not even began as far as, it's not even been the first year. Now, I understand there's a desire for a extension till 2027. However, we have a deficit in the city, and it would not be prudent for any of us to approve the following. If this occurred, the following would happen. He was hired, first year of the contract, $376,870. This is base salary. Effective tomorrow, January 23rd, it's okay because that's in the contract, $399,482.20 effective tomorrow as base salary. 2025, it would increase the base salary $419,456.31. In 2026, it increased the base salary of $440,429.13. Again, as I said in the beginning when Mr. Piccolotti went for his first 2-year contract, it had nothing to do with being personal. It had to do with financial and being prudent for the people of Daly City. We have so many needs and so many adjustments, and I wonder why the urgency. That's my thing. There's been an urgency tonight, and I wonder what that urgency is. Also, I want to say consistently that that would not be the only increase. For example, those increases you just heard, if another director got an increase of 3%, he would automatically get another 3% on top of the salary. This is the highest paid in the Bay Area, if not higher. Now, I'm not saying equaling money to worth. I'm just saying that to extend to 2027 is not prudent. We have no economic forecast in what could happen in our cities. We didn't know there was going to be a COVID. We didn't know that we're just finally recovering, and we still have a deficit. So, again, I also want to know why tonight. And for the sake of transparency that I wanted to give to the people, it is a known public, and this is not to defer or call anybody out, of the vote for tonight would probably be Mr. Buenaventura it's public knowledge that he probably will be leaving the council. I say for the majority of the council, if that happens, when a new person comes, we can revisit this issue and we can all have it together and have a larger discussion. Because this is indeed a serious discussion when it comes to your money, the people's money. And again, just like my vote before, it was not personal. It was because of financial responsibility in the city and all the things that we need and that need to come, and we have no forecast, and we do have a deficit. So, let's see. So currently in a 2-year contract that you get to 2027, and I ask that we table this item so when we do have a full council, and I did also notice that Councilmember Sylvester has not had a chance to chime in either. So that is what I want to be prudent about, and I think it's in good conscience that we do not approve this item tonight. We table this item to when we have a council and we can discuss this, and we have plenty of time to do so when I just don't know the hurry. And if it is because of that, a majority vote, then I'd say that's not a good look on our city. Optics are everything. So I'll leave that on the table now and wait till after public comment if there is any. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilmember DiGiovanni. Are there any other comments from my colleagues?
Okay, thank you, Madam Mayor. I will say that in all the years that I have been on this council, without a doubt, Tom Piccolotti has been the best. I have seen this man work, and I've seen him take initiative. I've seen him anticipate and act, and not just wait for problems to come to him. And mind you, I have, I've had the benefit of seeing two other city managers at work. I'm not saying they were bad, but I'm just saying Tom Piccolotti is excellent. And I find comfort in knowing that the city is in his hands, that he is our city manager. Because quite frankly, he's the one that runs the city. We, as a council, we make policy decisions and we give direction, but implementation of it, it's really up to him. And I'm struggling to find anywhere that he's failed. And he's just been a remarkable city manager, in my opinion. And I think we are in good hands if we continue to employ him, if we grant him an extension, if we have some peace of mind knowing that we are locking him up so that we can be in a position to deal with some of these problems, and that having Tom at the helm is security. So, Madam Mayor, I'm with you in the support of Mr. Piccolotti and the employment agreement of city manager moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Bonaventura. And with that, thank you very much. I'll take the public comment and then continue, unless you have further.
I just have a quick
Okay.
question.
ahead.
If you had to compare salaries in parity to the county, how would this salary compare to those in the rest of the county?
I can answer that. Higher than anyone in the Bay Area
Are you asking?
and
us
county.
We don't have any official survey completed
Okay.
for city manager at this moment, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, I just want to just say my piece. I watch a lot of sports, okay? And when people watch sports, people are fans of keeping special players, keeping special people within their organization. You lock that person up, or what Beyonce says, put a ring on it. And I think that when we're committed to a person that has shown up and showed out day in, day out, from the time this person was, just appointed and then became official, Tom has shown up and shown out many ways possible. Open door policy, creating a culture amongst the staff that is open, creating a mood of camaraderie where people can go up to him and talk to him. You extend that person. You keep that person because you know that person is the franchise for the organization. And so with that analogy, I think it would be, for myself, it would be a mistake to keep loose ends untied.
Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much. Um, you know, Councilmember Benaventura, I think you were the one, and I think also we're able to see the work when he transitioned into the role that he's in. And now he's our city manager. And so with that, I afford you the opportunity, Councilmember Benaventura, if you'd like to make a motion.
Madam Mayor?
We have a comment.
Oh,
Public
go
comment.
ahead.
Oh, you have to do public comment, and then I'll make a comment
I
after
can
public
do,
comment.
I think, public
Yeah.
comment.
Yeah, I have another comment after that. Thank
After.
you.
Okay,
The motion.
I make a motion to adopt the resolution, item number 8.
And then I'll call for public comment
You can't,
I think we need to make the public comment before the motion.
before a full roll call. I'll do so.
Okay.
Do I have a second?
point of order, may I?
Have a
second.
second? Okay, thank you. Now I'll take public comment. Thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to call up Mr. Brent. Forgive me. Turner. Trying to read it.
Hello, council members. My name is Brent Turner. I wasn't here to speak tonight, but now that I've been able to witness the good community spirit that was occurring earlier, I feel compelled to say something in this moment. And I appreciate all of your hard work here, making this city very special, a very special place with a very special environment. I have to, with full disclosure, say that I know, as I mentioned when he was sworn in, I know Tom Piccolotti from real life, and I'm aware of his reputation in the community as a stellar individual that helps people. I work with a lot of different city managers, and I know that there is a competitive market for top-notch city managers. And so what I think is being left out of the objection toward Mr. Piccolotti is the fact that if, as Vice Mayor mentioned, if you lose them, you have to replace them. And the replacement model may not be up to the standard that you have now. So that is the problem in keeping a franchise player like that on board. You have to pay them what they can get elsewhere. And just in mentioning the reason why I feel compelled to come back forward to speak is in working with other city managers and knowing that that environment, that is the top. You have the best person that I've seen in that particular capacity because of his knowledge of health, safety, infrastructure, and the full gamut of his experience. So I appreciate all your efforts and I hope you move forward accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that public comment.
May-
Please. Thank you very much. I will now call on, first, it will be Ms. Sharon Keenan. And then right after, I'll have Mr. Ray Keenan.
Honorable council members, it seems to me that in the beginning, it was that the city manager worked for the good of the city council. I've seen a big change in this city council and in the city manager. I think that the salary is just escalating far too fast and far too high. The council is not paid that kind of money. and yet the council makes the decisions. It's not the city manager that makes the decisions. So I wish that you would step back and think about this, because times are not where the city manager gets paid more than the president of the United States. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Ray Keenan, please come up.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I don't really have that much to say, but one thing I'd say about this young man over here is I told him about a bunch of trash in our neighborhood and different places, and the young man says, "Oh, I'll take care of it for you." And I said, "Well, that's great." He says, "Time you get home, you won't see the trash there anymore, I guarantee you." 3 months later, they finally picked it up. Now that's guy's good word. Now, if you want to give him more money than the president of the United States, that's up to you. But that's the only thing I had to get. Now, when somebody with your knowledge in that and tell you that you're going to do something, darn it, you should do it, not wait 3 months. Thank you.
Thank you very much. There's a motion on the floor. I have a first and second. May we have roll call, please? Madam City Clerk. Roll call.
Ms. DiGiovanni,
Based on the financial responsibility, and that's what we are as a council, fiduciary responsibility, I want this on the record. Based on that, it's not personal. Just like before, I have to vote no for the people and be transparent, more than the right. The President of the United States and his urgency of it, I would say optics tonight of the people that are voting here and voting tonight. Why are we in a hurry? Think about someone leaving to make sure that he gets the extension. Thank you.
Dr. Rod,
Yes.
Mr. Buenaventura,
Aye.
Ms. Manalo.
Aye. Thank you very much. Now we're moving on to item number 13 is what we're at. Item number 13. I think it's Attorney Rose Zimmerman. Item number 13, a resolution admonishing Councilmember D. Giovanni, and the staff member is Attorney Rose Zimmerman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and members of the City Council. Before you this evening is a resolution admonishing City Council member Pamela DiGiovanni. We'll have a brief timeline to support the report. This item comes before you this evening as a consideration for the council to consider a resolution of admonishment based on an investigation report pursuant to a complaint that was filed by our city manager, dated, actually, it's March 3rd to 2023. I thought it'd be prudent to give you sort of a timeline of the investigation as it was directed by this council and the time put by the council in consideration for this resolution. So let's begin with basically, once the city council did receive the memorandum, and the memorandum has been made public to the public as well as to the city council, the council did convene the ethics committee. The committee did consist of Councilmember Benaventura as well as Vice Mayor Dosmakwal. Upon meeting with the ethics committee, the committee determined, given the memo and the concern for the contents of the memo, that the city direct the city attorney as well as the Human Resources Department to conduct an independent investigation in regards to the complaints filed pursuant to Councilmember DiGiovanni. At that time, the Human Resources Department did retain the independent services of the investigator, Ellis Investigation. This was on April 3rd, 2023. In or around April 7th, 2023, we commenced the investigation. The investigation was concluded on May 26, 2023. At that time, there were about 15 witnesses interviewed throughout the course of the investigation. The investigator did also request, as part of the investigation, the Councilmember DiGiovanni have the opportunity to respond to the complaints. At that time, Councilmember did decline participation to be a part of the investigation through her attorney. At or around August 15, 2023, the investigation did conclude, and the findings were reported to the Ethics Committee. In the investigation, which also has been made public, there were 25 allegations in regards concerning Councilmember DiGiovanni. The report did corroborate 21 issues concerning generally around abuse, harassment, and bullying by Councilmember DiGiovanni against the city manager as well as city staff. As a result of this investigation, considering the nature of the complaint, the council did convene several closed session items under anticipated litigation to review and also consider the investigation report and its findings. In or around October 2023, the council did also request and afford Ms. DiGiovanni an opportunity to review the report and the findings. And Councilmember DiGiovanni did review the findings in the city attorney's office. Around November 2023, the council also afforded Councilmember DiGiovanni an opportunity to meet and confer with the council in closed session to address and to also discuss the findings of the report. And Council DiGiovanni chose not to respond or comment as a result of this. After considerable deliberation and report, after the report had been public, the council did review and identify 5 major violations out of the 21 that were corroborated in the report that created a hostile work environment by the Councilmember DiGiovanni. Those findings, as addressed above, included kept vehicles for extended periods of time in violation of city policy for personal use. 2, use city vehicles for personal purposes in violation of city policy on personal use of city vehicles, and use the city vehicles for political campaign purposes. 4, improperly demanded police officers and staff to remove patrols from city events and treated city staff professionally in a hostile manner. At this time, the council did direct the city attorney to prepare a resolution of admonishment of the council member addressing these 5 allegations as violations in lieu of proceeding censorship proceedings. There is an updated draft resolution for the council to consider and discuss in considering the resolution of admonishment for Councilmember DiGiovanni. The investigation report and the complaint memo have been made public and have also been made aware for the public to review at the city clerk's office and also via the website. At this time, the council is open for discussion and questions of city staff.
Thank you so much, City Attorney. At this time, I will ask my colleagues that were on the Ethics Committee if they have any comments. Councilmember Bonaventura or Councilmember, or my Vice Mayor.
All right, I will. Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is obviously not a very pleasant thing to do as a council. this fell on our lap. We received a memo outlining in detail some of the allegations of abuse by Ms. DiGiovanni. Abuse towards the staff, the city manager, as well as other things. And the memo is public record online that you can all view. And so, we had no choice as the ethics committee but to act on it. It's our obligation when we receive a complaint to look into it. And particularly when it involves claims of harassment against our employees, our staff. We didn't make this up. We didn't initiate this investigation. It is the result of facts that happen, allegations that happen. So we had to look into it. We would be derelict in our duty to just let it go. And I don't think that's what the people want. And so that's what we did. Because we wanted to find out. We wanted to get to the bottom of this. And so that's why an investigation was started. Did we know it would result in 25 acts of violations, 21 of which had been corroborated, meaning there's evidence of it, and 5 of the most egregious ones we thought it was important enough to address. And addressing it also included an invitation to Councilmember DiGiovanni to tell us before we did anything, a resolution or censorship. We asked her, can we talk about this? She declined twice. In the investigation phase, when she was asked about it, no comment. When we talked about it in a meeting with all of us, no comment. So I don't want the public to have the perception that this wasn't due process, that this wasn't a fair process. It was. And so, and we didn't just say, all right, there's 21 corroborated acts. Let's just go with all 21. No, we were careful. We looked at the 5 and we thought those 5 were the most egregious. These city vehicles are no one's personal property. These city vehicles are for city business, not for personal affairs. Having campaign political signs in a city vehicle, what does that speak of? Ordering police officers, telling them what to do. The police are there to keep us safe. Using her authority to try to tell them how to do their job. And then just treating the staff unprofessionally and hostile. You cannot have a work environment that deals with that constantly. Imagine how much work is disrupted. Imagine how stressful, how unproductive it can be when you have someone who is hostile to you, who is just treating you unprofessionally. And again, this was corroborated. This is not just hearsay. An investigation was done. It was corroborating, meaning that there are witnesses And the report was made public. And so we could have gone one of two ways. We could have censured her, and that's the most, that's a major thing to do, to censure someone. And yet what we chose, maybe for the sake of the city, is to give her an opportunity to change. Because in the resolution that, again, is public, it talks about some of the remedial measures that she can take, like counseling, maybe she can work better with the staff. We'll see. In the resolution, it does say we have a right to move forward with the censorship process. If things don't turn out, we can do that. And again, we're trying to see some change, some improvement, some betterment of the treatment of the staff, because the staff is what get things done. And so I just wanted to be clear in understanding that this wasn't a vendetta, this wasn't a political smear campaign. It was started by our city manager who had a complaint. And it was our duty and obligation to act on it. And I will also say I commend our city manager for doing that. It takes some guts to put yourself out there. And it takes some risk. But I don't know what was hit on his mind that made him write the memo, but I believe it's because of his staff. I think Tom can take the hit, but his staff, he was worried about them. And I believe truly he cares so much about the city and the staff and the people who run it that he just wanted it to stop. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Benaventura.
Mayor,
Vice Mayor.
as part of the Ethics Committee as well, I just want to share my thoughts as well. Again, there was 21 accounts, and 5 was chosen that we saw as the most important issue to address. And I think that, out of compassion, and we always call for unity, and we also talk about lessons learned. When people bring forth issues and folks that are afraid, vulnerable, live in fear, we're in a position to provide a platform to call it out. The harassment, the uncomfortable working environment, the use of city vehicles for personal or campaign is unacceptable. Right. And so it leads me to my second point in terms of accountability. There is a privilege, an honor, a responsibility to be in our position to sit on this dais. When person after person expresses their grievance and there's no action to address it, then we repeat the cycle of violence. The silencing has to be disclosed. It has to be able to be explicit. We all have our blinders, but if you don't have the vulnerability, the humility, or the empathy to understand that your actions are hurting people, and you deny their feedback, there's no change for growth or reconciliation. As a teacher, I'm pretty sure most of y'all have gone through classrooms where you thought the teacher was a jerk. And that teacher never just said, hey, I'm sorry. My bad. It takes humility to do that. At least there is an opportunity for change when people can say and have the vulnerability and humility say, I did wrong. What can we change here? So these issues were brought upon our community, our city staff, our city manager, and there was continuation of outbursts, denial, deflection, and lack of accountability. And if you can't have to be a leader, to be vulnerable and say, maybe all these people are saying something and we need to change something, right? When people say, hey, patriarchy sucks, listen. And as a person that's a privileged male cisgendered man, I have to listen. How can I change what's going on so we can make it better? So moving forward, what are the lessons learned from this? We all talk about unity, but unity cannot be reconciled unless there's an acknowledgement of the harm. Harm has been committed, yet there's no accountability, humility, or hope or change. I hope we can have a dialogue that is safe, that is humanizing. I hope this process can lead to empathy and understanding towards repairing the harm. And if we can't even do step one, how can we ever get to step two? And for those that have had substance abuse problems or Alcohol Anonymous, what is step one? Step one is to acknowledge there is an issue, acknowledge there is a problem. And if you can't acknowledge that, how can we go from there? Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Let me be very clear with everyone. This is not personal. When I saw the report of how employees were mistreated, employees that are the ones that are on the front lines, the ones in our city that are there for our community. I wish we're not in this place. I wish we're not in this place right now to be having to do this. Respect, having a safe space in your workplace, it should be a foundation. It should be definitely something that is part of how we treat one another. But I'm here speaking up because our workers and our employees, they need to be protected. As council members in our roles, borrowing money from a city employee, it says here, among other things, Ms. DiGiovanni borrowed money from redacted. This finding was supported. Credible accounts that Ms. DiGiovanni borrowed $500 from her, delayed repayment, and then threw money toward her. Moreover, the evidence reflected that, Ms. Giovanni had limited income but did not have to throw the money. Who throws money towards someone? Another account. At one or two events in 2022 and 2023, Ms. DiGiovanni approached and said, "Hey girl, how are you?" Ms. DiGiovanni said it in a friendly manner, but employee disliked it. Thus, she told Ms. DiGiovanni each time, "Please don't call me girl." On February 17, 2023, at Black History Month event, Ms. DiGiovanni again greeted her this way. I think being able to listen and have respect for one another, making sure that our employees feel respected, that our employees feel safe, and Vice Mayor alluded to that. As well as Council Member Bonaventura. And what was talked about earlier from my colleagues, what there were 21 corroborated results from the investigation. And 5 we brought today that you see in front of you. We have to create healthy, safe spaces for our public employees. At this time, if there's anyone that like to have public comment on this item, item number 13, please give it to our city clerk. May I call on to Ruth McHale on item number 13.
Ruth McHale. I'm a retired teacher from Jefferson Elementary School District. I have known Ms. DiGiovanni for 20 years, I think at least. And this is the first I've heard of these infractions. And I was just curious that you chose 5 of the 21 that you said you had corroborated. And I would like to speak on her behalf since I see 3 members against 1, and it just doesn't seem fair to me. Also, about the vehicles being taken, I can understand that. I have 4 children, and they had often taken my vehicle without permission. I also wanted to say that you were mentioning some of the infractions that weren't listed on this 5 here. And though I appreciate all that you've said, I have been involved with AFT, American Federation of Teachers, for all the 30 years that I taught. And I can't tell you how many times infractions were exaggerated. And to fill someone's agenda, they would exaggerate the offenses. And I heard that many times. I have not been part of the selecting these 5 infractions from the 21 that you had collaborated, you said, or corroborated. And I just wanted to stand here and tell you that she has done remarkable work for the police department, for the fire department, and for the teachers of Daly City for the years that I had known her. And I just wanted to speak on her behalf. Thank you.
Thank you very much. May we have Brent Turner, please?
Hello again, City Council. This is a sad moment for me personally because I know Pam from my work in politics around town. And reading through this report today, it was quite evident that this is an independent report and that there is a severe problem here, which is plaguing the city and the county. Unfortunately, I became aware of this more so where there were comments, allegations against the council of anti-Semitism. And it didn't seem to add up that this council would be racist. And of course, I was not aware, coming from the Jewish community, that Ms. Di Giovanni was part of that community, not to say that she is or isn't, but just to say that when I heard the allegations of anti-Semitism, that struck me as an inappropriate comment, and it painted a poor picture of the city and the county and went national, so the state. I ran into another activist that I think is willing to come forward and mentioned that he had been involved and was the person that I became aware was harassing the council through telephone calls, coming into the city, harassing the staff, and making comments through Zoom, I think at that time, during COVID, that were quite disturbing. I encouraged him to stop doing that and to disassociate from Pam. I think counseling is an obvious suggestion. If not, then resignation. But I want to make sure that it is stated on behalf of the public as a community activist that this is nobody's pleasure. This is a sad moment, and we just need to move forward and get back to the good work that can be accomplished here in this fine city. And thank you for your time. I hope this isn't just the tip of the iceberg, these 20 some odd counts. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. May we have Fernando Montanes come up, please?
Good evening, Mayor and everyone else. I've spoken before about incidences involving Ms. Di Giovanni in past meetings, and the fact that, you know, all of these reports have come into fruition is a huge step towards some form of accountability and justice. However, I just want to point out that as I was listening to the comments by the council about this admonishment, that I was observing that there was no remorse whatsoever coming from Ms. DiGiovanni, or even a sort of acknowledgement that this is a serious issue that she needs to address. And, it pains to see that here in public when multiple witnesses, multiple incidences, a series of altercations throughout the past couple of years, if not more, have come out. And we can obviously see that there's a pattern of misbehavior, misconduct, and, to see a council member like Ms. DiGiovanni not provide any remorse, to give her so much opportunities to speak for herself, to deny those opportunities to sit down on the table and discuss these. She doesn't understand justice. She doesn't understand that if these series of incidences were to happen in my workplace, you would automatically be fired. And I think we need to hold our council members in that level of degree that if I were to do those things in my workplace, I should get fired too, or go through some kind of accountability. And Ms. DiGiovanni, to point out your hypocrisy, you're so concerned about the city manager's wage that you fail to recognize that your use of city vehicles, that's our tax money paying for it. So please address that hypocrisy. I yield back.
Thank you very much.
Through the mayor, am I allowed to say anything during this process?
Deb, please feel free.
So let me begin, and I want this all for the record. Let me begin. Just like before, in 2022, when it was my reelection, it's a political witch hunt again. In November 22, I went to court in front of a judge with Ms. Manalo, who falsely accused me of assaulting her in a court of law. We both had attorneys. We were sworn by oath, cross-examined, and the judge found no findings, case closed. Let's move forward. Also, the DA, no charges. Investigation, no charges. Let's also, for the record, say that that report was redacted and no one was under oath. You talk about justice. Let's also, when people say I refused, yes, my criminal defense attorney did contact the investigator and tell her this is politically motivated. I never said I refused to participate. You have to understand this has been politically motivated from before. They couldn't get me one way, so they're gonna get me another way. Now, I have not been given any due process. I have not been prepared for a rebuttal or been time enough. This report has been online for 2 weeks. I had no notice from the city attorney, no told whether I could do a rebuttal. So I'm not prepared to do the rebuttal tonight. But I want some facts out here. So the investigator gave the report, the one that was done not under oath, redacted, to the ethics committee. The ethics committee, let's have transparency, like they said, is the two people that are here tonight. So how can they police themselves? That's not bias and prejudice. Let's also talk about the reorg, where this is not the first time or the second time. Go back on December the 11th, 2 hours and 2 seconds, where you can actually see that not only was it I've been discriminated upon over the past few years and denied, and Mr. Sylvester made a big point of it, and you can hear his own words. But it is clear discrimination, and yes, Mr. Turner, because I was denied given a proclamation for a Jewish Heritage Month, and they know, because prior to that, when he was mayor, I was allowed, but I wanted to be blocked. There's other instances that will be brought forth when I have more time. The report went online. this 2 weeks, but the agenda for tonight and the resolution, 5:30 Friday is what I heard. Now you tell me I get due process. Here we are, and then now I hear something extra could be on there. That's not due process. I don't even know who's if it's redacted. Do you think that's fair? Do you think it's fair it's under oath? You talk about justice, and I did go to court. And that narrative still continues today, that people are saying, and people on this dais, oh, justice was not done. That, yes, justice was done. And that they're the victim? No. Okay, so fast forward. I also want to know that it's done. This investigation report is called Clearly Beyond the Scope. By that I mean they went back to 2018. Now, the city manager makes a complaint as an employee. He goes to HR. They get an investigator. He was not even the city manager in 2018. And then, why? How much did that cost? 156 pages of taxpayer money did that cost? Could that have been for a library? It's no secret that these people have not been exactly, and no offense to some of these, it's on tape. I have people here that have called me a white woman of privilege on this dais. It's sad, you're right. This whole thing is sad. It's been sad for years. Really, it has. But I'm still here, and I went to court, and I continue. So, and I can actually prove other things if I'm given the time. So the word refused, that definitely should not be in here. I had an attorney, Jeffrey Carr, tell them. And he also told me when they gave me an opportunity to speak in a closed session, do you think that these people would actually be fair and non-prejudiced against me after all these years and everybody knows? Do you really think that I would get a fair chance? Under the ethics committee, who never reported out from here, by the way. When you have a committee in this city, you should come back, even if you can't give the findings or if it's confidential. They never came. It's the first time I saw it in writing that an ethics committee was even a part of it, which consisted of the two of the people that sit here tonight in judgment of me. Isn't that a conflict of interest? I would say so. And then you have the two employees, the city manager, the city attorney. They're both employees of the city. So I also want to make it clear that after there's many things, but you have to understand, that night on January the 8th, when they went to reconvene to close session, that is something that people need to know. There was no public announcement like you're supposed to under the Brown Act, because people need to know that you're going to reconvene for closed session, because people need to also see who's going to be in closed session. So I want to ask, according to the report that says there were 3 people, I want to know from the city attorney, respectfully to our city attorney who's had to go through this, who were the 3 people? And I want to know, were they all present? Because you have to have a quorum to be present. And I want to know what happened. I mean, you can't talk about what happened in closed session, but I want to know, because there was no announcement of reconvening for closed session, so people could see who was going to reconvene for closed session. Who were the 3 people? And were they all 3 present? And if they weren't, that's not a quorum. And that was not publicly known to people. And then Mr. Sylvester is not here tonight. Is that fair to Mr. Sylvester? I say not. He's part of this council too. But they know. And why are they doing this in a hurry? Again, we know that someone on this council, and it's public, will be leaving the council. They want to make doggone sure, because They couldn't get me in court there, but they're moving forward now. And then, oh, let's get her here. Really, honestly. And they have spent multiple times of staff time. How much is that? So I tell you, it's a political witch hunt, and it can be proven if given time for rebuttal. So I want to know from the city attorney, respectfully, because I was not given any due process or told that I would have any rights here tonight. I never received an email, no communication, nothing. Is that justice? And then we look at these. Can they all be rebutted? You bet. You bet. Why do you seek legal counsel? And inside that closed session, you can't talk about it, but when he asked me, he said he gave me an opportunity. On the advice of my attorney, of course not. It's a political witch hunt. We were already going through that. Again, why are you going to put me through that? And it went all the way back. You don't do that. You don't do that with the people. You don't do that. Redacted? Why? Is it because some of those people are friends of theirs? Why is it redacted? I wonder. And you should wonder too, the people of this city. And you should wonder about the relationships of all these people. Who are their friends politically? Who are they attending campaign fundraisers at? All that. Are they putting the city at risk for litigation? Are they discriminating? 3 people to 1? I tell you. So with all due respect, am I allowed to get the answer to that question of who convened of the 3 people present? Were there 3 people present, city attorney? Again, this is not my rebuttal because I didn't have time. That's not justice.
Yes, there were 3 people present.
And who were the 3 people, please?
We had Mayor Jesslyn Manalo, Vice Mayor Rod Doss-McBall, and under 2449, we had Councilmember Benaventura. We also had Councilmember Sylvester, who chose to leave the meeting.
Yep, but he was not in there. That's my point. So you didn't have a quorum. Were they all 3 present? So you have to have a quorum before that, correct?
That's arguable if there was a quorum, because there was a quorum at the start of the meeting.
No, because of when you reconvened. But when you reconvened, there was not a quorum.
There was a quorum. When we reconvened, he left the meeting.
Right. But when you finished your thing, there was not a quorum. That's what I'm saying. And then even at the beginning of that earlier when they had the closed session, there was no announcement to the public that they were having the closed session. And then people need to see who's going in that closed session. Who is it? You have a right to know who's going in. Maybe you don't have a right to know what's going on, but you do have a right to know. So that's the other thing. Again, Ethics Committee, sit in judgment of me. And then some of you even use your own nonprofit. You use the conference room upstairs for your retreat. Don't cast stones over here. It said you don't know. The prior city manager, who's not here, during COVID, she was not in the, I'm just gonna say this now, but when I have her halftime, we had no cashier. I was in communication with that city attorney when you're trying to say that. And you know, for those people that know, the people that were helping me in campaigning, Clayton Koo, Alfonso Marquez, Marie Brasuela. And I would never just carry, that's right, take notes. I would never carry just one sign of no one, especially for Kevin Mullen. Funny how others supported a different candidate. All this will be vetted. You talk about justice, and you know, Mr. Turner, my parents, and where they came from. You know what it's like, especially in the temperature that it is. You need to know the history of this council. You need to go back and watch the films. You need to go back and watch some of the biases and some of the incidents. Redacted. I think the people are smarter than that. So, again, nothing was under oath. Why? I find it very hard to believe, and this is just a public comment, because, again, I had no knowledge and no time was not noticed or given any rights tonight. And it just happened to be when someone's gonna probably leave our council tonight. And court didn't go their way. November 22nd, 2022. Not the date, but November 2022, when I was trying to run my reelection. And they filled up the room with their friends, calling me names. I always have remorse when it's appropriate, but there's the truth. And it came out in court, then maybe that's the justice system. I don't know, but you're right, there needs to be justice. So, understandably, with not much to do, as far as time, people will be hearing more with the truth, and they need to know how much it costs. They need to know that the ethics committee is only wrenching there, and I don't appreciate to say the word refused when people know under the comment, I have no comment on the advice of my attorney. That's what I said. And my attorney called the investigator and said, it's still a political witch hunt. She's not participating in a political witch hunt. And if it had been a censure, it would have been unredacted. But I see what they're gonna do or what have you, because they have the majority. And that's what it's been for Councilmember Sylvester and I. That's how it's been. So when you have that, but the rest of the truth will come out at appropriate time, and I would like to know my rights, because I have been given none. None by them, none by the city attorney, none by the city management, none. I think everybody deserves rights. That's why we live in this country, for civil rights, Constitution, freedom of speech. So, can't get me one way, then you have your friends, and you need to look at the political spectrum to go with it. Some people are not supposed to attend political functions. They're supposed to remain neutral, but they do. Just saying. So anyway, that's all I can say for tonight, I think, because I wasn't, again, prepared. And if that was not a quorum and it was not announced, and if you say it's a continuation, and even if Mr. Sylvester did not convene, then you shouldn't have met. That's the Brown Act. That's clearly Brown Act. And when you go back to the reorg again, on December 11th, you'll see. I question, did they already know who was going to be mayor and vice mayor? This is my second term. You talk about fairness? Try have never been. Try that, or vice mayor. And it's not about the title. It's about democracy. It's about respecting the office. It's about equity. You hear the words, but the actions don't match. And then right after that court thing, I understand that the narrative still continues out there that I did something. Well, the law says something different, the judge. So right now, that's all I have, I guess, and I didn't even know that there's something else they could add to this. And when did that happen? That they could add something to this? Did they meet earlier today in closed session? Because I was told that, oh, there's something added to it in the middle of the day, online. I don't think they met did you meet in closed session today when something was added to the resolution? When it was sent out, and then all of a sudden, people were saying, oh, there's something else on the draft, added. In the middle of the day, something was added to this, and I didn't know about it. And it just so happened it's happening here tonight when they have the majority. And they want to make sure they did that, and everything else, they want to make sure that it's done tonight. Well, so I don't even know at this point. Hopefully, I will be able to learn my rights and see what else can be done. If they're going to be, I don't know, is it going to be unredacted? Rose? No. No, it will not be unredacted. And it was not under oath in the investigation, correct? People were not given the oath. Right?
I didn't conduct the investigation.
Oh, you weren't there, yeah. You can't say because you weren't there. But you should know if the investigation was under oath. And it was not. So people have a right to know who's accusing them. Could it be their friends? Could it be political? I say yes. Known fact. They didn't want me to win my reelection. They did everything, tried to slander me everywhere. Brought people in here, making public comments. Oh, it was crazy. What was sad is that I helped them get in to their seats. I helped them, every one of them. And then turn like that, also they can get a friend in, because I speak my mind. I cannot be controlled as far as voting. And we do agree a lot together on certain items. And if somebody really had a problem, think about it. A professional has a problem with someone. Do you run and do that? Or do you go try to mediate with that person on your own? I was never given the opportunity. So that's it for, I think, I keep saying that, but it is clear. And it's bias. This is filled with bias prejudice. Filled. And the discrimination and anti-Semitism was already proven. It was proven. So, years. So, we're here to serve the people, not to destroy one another. I think if Mr. Sylvester is given an opportunity to speak, he would, I think, hopefully, he will be given an opportunity. I don't see any rights. So I'll be getting anything about rights or anything, or how I'm supposed to approach this. Okay, there you go. Thank you. That's all for now. You should question.
Mayor, you say something?
Yes, Vice Mayor, please.
It goes both ways, Pam. I endorsed you too. 2018. I stay up here and I view this position with honor, with privilege. People call me out, and sometimes I'm wrong. And I'll ask people, tell me your perspective. Why am I wrong? I do not deny. I have kids and ask them what happened. And when they keep on denying and denying and denying, it's like, so how are you gonna do better? Don't say sorry, be better. If you look at the resolution, it's just asking you to apologize. It urges the city council member to apologize to the city manager, to staff, to attend anger management in the workplace, training and related behavior training in order to treat city staff professionally. And if we can't move on, then there's gonna be another process. I mean, people all have access to this report. Like, when I see a city vehicle and it has a campaign.
How did it get there? I want to know how.
How did it get there, Pam?
Yeah, I want to know too. How do you think it do? I would never put a Kevin Mullins sign. Granted, everybody was supporting another candidate. You need to remember that. Alfonso Marquez.
So is this fault?
No, I have never put. You don't think that that's not targeted? Even as an interim person?
Well, as the evidence that comes by, and it,
Well,
you're
why
the
do
one
you
that had
think they
access
took-
to the vehicle.
Rod, with all due respect, why do you think a picture is taken with one sign? You're an intelligent person, and it just happens to be a Kevin Mullins sign?
I do see an American flag on the ground as well.
Yeah, that's not mine.
That's not yours?
Nope.
But you had
Nope.
the car for
I would-
how long?
No, I did not. And that car has never spent the night at my apartments. Never. And you can ask Shauna, who's not here, and I had explained to him about COVID.
It just kind of just got there.
Ask who it is. I don't know. I can tell you, you can ask Clayton Koo, you can ask any of them who helped with the campaign and helped with Kevin Mullen and helped with all that. You can ask them every single thing. Marie Brasuela.
Was it their mistake for not
every year?
cleaning
No,
it up? Like,
I would
don't
never do
understand.
that. You think I would put someone like that in that light? You know the years' experience I have in campaigns. You don't think that was in place there? Just happens to see the name. I'm not going to argue tonight because we're going to have to. I don't have a chance to my rebuttal or my evidence,
Well, I
but
don't
I
want to
would be
make
happy to present it to
Okay,
you.
it's my time right now, Pam.
Oh, I know. So respectfully, Rod, I want to be respectful.
Okay.
Hold on just a second. And I probably shouldn't have interrupted you, but I wanted you to hear from me.
Okay.
But at some point, I would like to be given the time, the rebuttal when a rebuttal, if you're allowed a rebuttal, you can present your side, is what my understanding is. If I was really allowed and then had got enough and knew my rights, I would be happy to. Right? And it also saddens me because you're right. You did support me back then too. That's why it saddened me that night that you became vice mayor hurtfully instead of standing up for what was right. Because even if you went in the vote section, doesn't matter because you got your seat, but I did always got more votes, right? I was always behind Ray. So now you're vice mayor again,
Okay.
and you overlooked that night again, which for me, out of all people, that's the one that disappointed me. And then you were mayor and then vice mayor. But anyway, so we can leave it there because I had already told him a couple times, out of all people, Rod.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so at some point, hopefully that we can,
This is not a conspiracy theory.
Right,
I just want to speak on my behalf.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah,
not
go
a
ahead.
conspiracy theory.
but you're just
You know,
given.
there are popular people that are running for re-election in the federal level.
Yes.
That said that they stole a vote, and there was a narrative against that person too,
That's correct,
right?
yeah, so evidence will speak
And so
for
when we
itself.
talk about democracy, it's mathematics. You know, to me, it just sounds like sour grapes to me.
It's not sour grapes about that. It's about democracy.
Democracy is majority.
You know, here.
You know what I mean?
Ron,
Like, I don't understand. Like,
to me, I can continue on, and all I care about is serving the thing. It's about seeing the pattern. What do they have?
there is a pattern. Okay, the reason people are redacted is because they're scared if their names are out, there's going to be retaliation. My name is not redacted. I'm out there.
Well,
I said it, and I stand by my word. I stand by my name. And I said what I said.
But this is not a quarter law, but when my...
You know, but I can't sit here and be like, it's a conspiracy theory. They did this, they did that. We're just asking, say sorry.
You don't
take
sorry.
Take
politically motivated.
Politically motivated. I'm talking about ethics here. When a person says that you loaned money and you crumpled money and threw it at that, it wasn't true. Okay. So the city invested money to do a investigation because it's against you.
Well,
okay. Sounds really, really like. Sounds really truthful there. I don't understand. Like.
Why did it
nah.
go back to 2018, Ron? Ask yourself. But I'll drop it there.
It's probably because people are scared of being retaliated against.
No.
If you could come out with this type of venom and this type of...
Not venom.
Yeah, you called me. That was a conspiracy theory.
I'm not conspiracy.
You just said it. You just said it 5 minutes ago off your platform right now.
But your actions, think about it.
What?
About who's the mayor, vice mayor.
So? I was with you since planning commission. So does that make anything?
No.
Come on now.
I'm not saying that.
Come on now.
I'm just saying about...
You. This is far-fetched now.
There's a long history here.
I'm done, Mayor.
Okay. There's a long history here.
Thank you.
Discrimination, yes.
This is not anti-Semitic. I don't understand how that is. I didn't call you out with any type of religious venom. Nothing. If you talk about democracy, it's about who has the votes. Boom. If you lose gracefully.
It's not about losing.
Well, if that was in my case and I lost, then be what it is. You don't need a title to do
That's
work.
correct. That's correct.
So do the best of your ability then.
That's correct.
Unbelievable.
Okay, I think what was mentioned here, that there was no opportunity to speak, I hope that you see that there's definitely ample opportunity for you to speak. There's no, this is, you have the floor, you had the floor. So I want that to be very clear.
But no time to prepare.
People watching, that you have the opportunity. What's clear at hand is that there was an outside investigation. And my duty as a council member is to also make sure that our employees feel safe and they're not in an environment also want to be very clear that there were opportunities to see the document, and it was indicated by our city attorney. And so even though I just want, there was opportunities, and I think my colleague, Councilmember Di Giovanni, had the opportunity to actually read the document even before these 2 weeks. So,
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll go ahead and make the motion to adopt the resolution. I would also, in the interest of justice, I would ask that this matter, we also add to the resolution that this matter be referred to the District Attorney's Office as well as to the FPPC for their review to see if any violations have been committed.
thank you for that motion and that amendment, Councilmember Bonaventura. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor. Before we continue on to a vote, I want to be very clear. There are no anti-Semitic Semitism here. It's extremely disappointing to have a colleague bring out such allegations. I stand firm in that regard. And with that, may we have a roll call, please?
Ms. DiGiovanni,
I'm voting on my own, okay. No.
Dr. Rod,
Aye.
Mr. Buenaventura,
Aye.
Ms. Manalo.
Aye. Moving on to item number 14. Finding of public convenience and necessity, PCN 223-16098, to sell alcoholic beverages for off-site consumption at Seafood City at 1420 Southgate Avenue.
Commissioners, the item before you is a request for determination of public convenience and necessity, PCN, to sell alcoholic beverages for off-site consumption at Seafood City at 1420 Southgate Avenue. Seafood City has filed an application with Alcoholic Beverage Control, ABC, to sell beer, wine, and distilled spirits for off-site consumption at their new St. Francis Square store. The applicant estimates that 100 square feet, or less than 0.5% of the store total sales floor area, would be dedicated to the display of alcoholic beverages. Seafood City will be open daily 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. ABC has determined that finding a public convenience and necessity by the Daly City Council is necessary before it can issue the license, due to the store being located within a high crime reporting district. The staff is asking for the council to either make a finding in favor of public convenience necessity, or that public convenience necessity is not met by this application.
Thank you so much for your presentation on this. The question I have, is this for particularly the grocery store?
Correct.
Okay. And what is the square footage of the grocery store?
Let me see if I have the square footage. It's 20,000 square feet.
Okay. And then I think these were some questions that we had asked other entities or businesses, and so what is the percentage of alcohol being sold on that site to the in comparison to the groceries?
They anticipate approximately 0.5% of their sales area to be
Okay.
dedicated to alcohol sales.
Okay, so 0.5%.
Correct.
Thank you very much.
0.5%.
Okay, thank you very much. So
Sure.
just half a percent. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Those are my questions. I open up any questions to my colleagues, and first and foremost, Vice Mayor.
Prior to this development, did Pacific Super have a similar license to?
I'm not sure about that, but
Okay.
I believe they did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's pretty much like nothing new. It's just a new franchise, a new grocery
Correct.
store.
Well, the St. Francis Square Shopping Center, as you're probably aware, is being remodeled and
Right.
added onto. This is going to be a new franchise for Seafood City at that location.
Okay. That's all the questions from me. Mayor.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Any other questions? Councilmember DiGiovanni.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I see here in the staff report, thank you, by the way, Mr. Palin. On the second paragraph, where I gave the background, and it says, I believe, the last paragraph, the second paragraph under the background. According to ABC, located in District 13, is that the Seafood City District? Am I reading that correctly? Had a total of 508 offenses.
That is the information that was provided to staff from ABC.
From ABC, correct, for the alcohol, okay.
Yes.
And then also, so that is the same Seafood City location.
Right, at 1420 Southgate, St. Francis Square Shopping Center.
Do you know what type of offenses? I mean, like, as far as it wasn't related to what Vice Mayor was saying as far as a prior store?
So these, no. So these numbers here in the paragraph you're referring to came to staff from the ABC application.
Okay.
That if you look on the next page, there were some more specifics provided directly from the Daly City Police Department.
Yeah.
More crime statistics. And let me see. They reported to me that during the date range in the 5-year range from January of 17 through November of 23, that there were four police reports taken at the St. Francis Square Shopping Center in general, and they didn't specify as to what the crimes were, whether they were specifically alcohol related or just general crime, but four police reports were taken during that 5-year period.
Okay, thank you. Because I know we can't compare this location with, this one's more residential than it is over at the one in South City, correct? So it's not as residential.
Exactly.
Ours is residential.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with their location in South City, but I am familiar with St. Francis Square.
Definitely more residential.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Seeing no other questions on this, On item number 14, I move the finding of public convenience, a necessity PCN 223-16098 to sell alcoholic beverages for off-site consumption at Seafood City at 1420 Southgate Avenue, given the percentage of, just say, half percent?
0.5%.
0.5% of the items being sold.
Correct.
At the supermarket. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second? And we have roll call, please.
Madam Mayor, may I just ask clarification, because I couldn't hear the air conditioning? So, may desire to 1 or 2, or did you add that, or just a straight, to approve?
We're on item number 14.
Correct.
Councilmember T. Giovanni?
Correct.
Item number 14. So
Got it. No, I understand
I just made a motion for item number 14. Item number 14.
Thank you.
Finding of public convenience. So if you look on your agenda.
Yeah, no, I have it.
Okay. So
Thank you.
there's no other item on here that needs a second.
No, I was just wondering under the summary where it says we could pick, may desire from 1 or 2 under the summary, if you were adding that or not on your motion.
It's as my motion stands.
Okay,
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, may we have roll call, please? Thank you so much.
Ms. Di Giovanni?
Aye.
Dr. Rod?
Aye.
Mr. Buenaventura?
Aye.
Ms. Manalo?
Aye. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Pollard. Now moving on to our public hearing, general plan amendment, GPA plan development, major subdivision. On this item, number 15. And thank you so much. So before you proceed, Mr. Van Lackhausen, I wanted to just share with my colleagues that I did get to talk with President Salahuddin earlier today with a request to move this item to a date uncertain in that regard, and I'll provide her the opportunity to speak. But before, so I think that the last time we were here, the very December 11, right? That was December 11. And so now it's January 22nd. So I'm just hoping that there's, I think, more time is necessary in order to have an opportunity to meet with individuals and such as labor. I think I see in the audience, I want to acknowledge Brian Shields, who's in the audience, who has been working very hard, and also my dear friend over there who also shared the amazing tour that I kept talking about. So if you know that the carpenters have been doing a lot of apprenticeship works to those in our community. Thank you also for being here this evening. But with that request, with my colleagues, I stand with JUHSD and in the continuance for this item. You know, this is so important for our schools. This is so important for our community. This is so important for the jobs that are going to be created, the safe jobs, the jobs that will give our local communities the opportunity to live and thrive here, as well as our teachers. I mean, this is a comprehensive project, but something that I know many have been working on it for quite some time. And so for me, in that request, I do want to move into allowing JUHSD to have more time. And so in that respect, for procedure-wise, I'd like to ask Attorney Zimmerman, may I make the motion for continuance in that regard? What is the next steps? Because we are officially at a public hearing. Thank you very much. And then also would like to have the opportunity for JUHSD to speak if you'd like to talk on this item as well.
Will the public be able to make comments tonight? Because we've been sitting here for 2 hours waiting.
I'll afford the opportunity to do so for those on this item, most definitely. But just wanted to share with everyone that that is the request of the project sponsor. Okay. Mhm.
So, Madam Mayor, yes, you may make the motion to continue, basically table the item.
Okay. Okay. So at this time, I'll motion to table item number 15 with the opportunity for public comment. And so do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Vice Mayor. And now we'll take public comment. Please, I don't see if there's any, let's see if there's any items on number, I don't see any items on number 15. Oh, the brown one? Item number 13 here. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Okay. Nancy? Yes. Oh, please come up. Nancy Laksamana. Thank you.
Thank you very much, council members and mayor. I may go a minute over the 2-minute allotment. I'm representing the Community Garden Alliance. We have been at this discussion at all steps of the public comment for over 2 years. We want to, a letter was sent from Pacifica Social Justice, which is one of the groups that have supported the community garden. We've all written extensively, and our notes are all in the FEIR. The project, and it's basically 3 points. The project does not meet the timing requirements for inclusionary units. Plot B, which is 100% market rate, will be built first. Plot C, which includes all of the low and very low income units, will not be built at the same time, so violation of that. The project does not distribute inclusionary units throughout the development, but rather concentrates all of the lower income units in Plot C. Please keep in mind that you're 55% low and very low income in this city, 55%, and you're only allowing or only accepting, we should say the word accepting, from the school district 13.5% low and very low. This is not going to hit anywhere near your RENA numbers. You have a huge opportunity here to address the inequities in this city to get closer to what this town needs, and that is low and very low income housing. Because this project is planned to be predominantly market rate, again, 80%, with that 6.5% being moderate, it will exacerbate existing income inequality. Instead of requiring compliance with the city's laws regarding low income and other affordable housing, the staff instead proposes to change the law for this project. This is extremely bad policy, public policy, and will completely undermine the intention of the ordinance. The project will substantially reduce Daly City's ability to meet its goals in RENA. Just 1 or 2 last comments. The whole importance of the community garden, besides providing a food source for people, especially people of color in the city, we also brought it to your attention through the FEIR that it violated many environmental concerns. The Regional Water Quality Control Board recommended a complete assessment of the water bodies and wetlands of the site, stated the statements to the environmental impact report did not meet its requirements for a wetlands jurisdictional determination, and recommended that a competent determination be conducted. The staff response in the final EIR is that they did not need to comply with that agency's determination. I strongly recommend, along with all the other groups that supported the Community Garden Alliance, to not go with the project as currently stated. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now may I have Nick Achapinti?
Good evening, Council. So I'm here, as I have been, as a former board trustee for the Jefferson Union High School District, also as a lifelong resident of Daly City, a former student, teacher, and volunteer for this district. I put more years in this district than most people who have served on this board. And I can tell you, as somebody who's been on this board throughout the duration of this project has not been brought to you in good faith. And you know that. From discussions that I've had with city council members and other people working on this project, including people that have provided public comment throughout this project, has been almost 3 years now. I can tell you that I've been withheld information as a public official. That's not legal. There have been Brown Act violations around this. This is not legal. The urgency ordinance on your agenda tonight cites California Government Code Section 36937B, which does not apply in any form to what they're asking you to do tonight. So to ask a city council to break its own law, its own inclusionary housing ordinance, which is civil rights law, is asking city council, each and every one of you, even our council members not here tonight, to break civil rights law this city has signed on to for years and years. There's no need to go and end around to please council members who are willing to serve corporate interests that are not in the interest of our students, who they misappropriated almost $500,000 to surveil and police a community garden which does not need to be destroyed, and who the Native community has supported in the entire duration of this garden, as well as our high school students and teachers and community, many of whom, over 5,000, almost 5,000, signed a petition to not only preserve the garden, but many who want to support Westmore Park, which was bulldozed without any of our votes or any of our agreement. So to sign any contract unseen, which is what you're being asked to do with these ordinances, with these regulations, not in place, would be a violation of law. So I would encourage you and our city attorney and our staff here in the city council to take this into very careful advisement as you move forward at any step of the way. And I say this with complete faith in our community speak up, because money may talk in San Mateo County, but our voices speak louder. And we need that leadership tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So with this particular item, number 15, there is a first and second. And so at this point, since it will be a continuance, there is a motion and a second to continue this item. May we have roll call, please?
If I may have clarification, because I have on my notes to table, not the words continue. Either way. Okay, thank you. Ms. DiGiovanni.
Aye.
Dr. Rod.
Aye.
Mr. Buenaventura.
Aye.
Ms. Manalo.
Aye. Thank you for everyone that's doing all their hard work on this. I see, like, once again, the people in the room that care so deeply about our communities, whether it's through education. I graduated from Jefferson High School, and so I know how important it is to make sure our teachers are well paid and we have great education. But also, there's a huge opportunity here to ensure that we have local jobs that are safe, well paid, and I hope that there's continued dialogue and, as mentioned, in the community in regards whether it's our labor, carpenters, and also the opportunity with those who spoke today about caring about the environmental piece of it. So, like I said before, I hope, everyone gets to work with one another through partnership. And when you all are ready, we'll be here. Thank you. Moving on to item number 16, the introduction of ordinance amending Title VI, and the Daly City Municipal Code regarding animal control.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. The County of San Mateo's Animal Control Ordinance was originally adopted in 1951 and has been updated several times, most recently in 2006. In 2023, the county initiated the process to revise and update its animal control ordinance by issuing an invitation to local cities. The working group that developed the draft animal control ordinance included broad representation from the county, local cities, and the contractor that provides animal control services. On December 12, 2023, the County of San Mateo Board of Supervisors adopted updates to the Animal Control Ordinance. Pursuant to the Animal Control Services Agreement between all 20 cities and the county, the City of Daly City is required to adopt animal control ordinances that are the same or substantially the same as the county's ordinance. The county's revised animal control ordinance enhances enforceability, streamlines processes, clarifies definitions, and above all else, further promotes public safety. Key provisions of the proposed ordinance updating Chapter 6.04 of the Daly City Municipal Code include updated definitions to enhance enforceability capabilities and remove confusing language related to dangerous and vicious animal designations, lowers the rabies vaccination age requirement to 3 months of age to align with current state law, revises and updates the fee schedule, and further clarifies the offenses for which administrative citations may be issued for violations of Daly City Municipal Code, Chapter 6.04. Staff is available to provide any additional information desired by the mayor or council members.
Thank you for that presentation, Leilani. At this point, I ask my colleagues, Vice Mayor, do you have any comments?
No comment.
Thank you very much. Any other comments from my colleagues at this time? Seeing none, there are no comments. I entertain a motion to adopt this item.
Motion to adopt.
Actually, we need to open the public hearing.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. It is a public hearing. So at that point, I motion to open a public hearing, please.
Motion to open public hearing.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Are there any, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, please.
Ms. Ramos, do you know is there an appeal process? I don't know if you looked into it, but I'm just curious about if an animal is, declared vicious, what sort of procedure is done? Do they have a right to?
One thing that was noted in the updated ordinance is that previously, if they had a designation, it would remain with the animal for its entire life. Now, I believe it's 3 years that the owner can request that be reviewed again. And if there hasn't been any instances of additional, vicious acts under the definition, then that designation could be removed.
Okay, so it's only if there's been more acts, vicious acts, not necessarily if the dog has been trained or rehabilitated. That doesn't necessarily go into the equation.
I'm unsure the specifics on that. I didn't see that in the ordinance, Rose.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
It's basically, if I may, if they're deemed vicious, they stay vicious. But they do have a hearing with respect to being vicious. And then now you have 3 years to appeal that designation. And then you'd have a whole hearing if there was any rehabilitation in that respect.
All right, thank you. That's all. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, I see no questions or comments. And so at this point, we have a motion for the city attorney to read by title only.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is an introduction of ordinance amending Title VI of the Daly City Municipal Code regarding animal control. Council member may introduce an ordinance.
Okay. Council member, anyone like to introduce it?
I'll introduce.
All right, we have Council member Buenaventura introduce ordinance. Do we have a motion for that? Or okay, thank you very much. Look at that. We are now at appointments. I think we are at 3 more items to go. So At this point in time, do we have any board, commission, membership, or committee appointments?
I'd like to renew one of my appointees. I would like to reappoint Ray Satori for Planning Commission.
Okay, second. Okay, well, let's do a roll call vote, please.
Ms. DiGiovanni?
Aye.
Dr. Rod?
Aye.
Mr. Buenaventura?
Aye.
Ms. Manalo?
Aye, thank you very much. Thank you. Any more? No, thank you very much. Now moving on to.
I have one.
Okay.
I have a vacancy in the Recreation Commission. I'd like to appoint Fernando Montañez to the Recreation Commission.
Second. Okay. May we have roll? Oh.
Where did he go?
Do you have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. DiGiovanni?
Aye.
Dr. Rod?
Aye.
Mr. Buenaventura?
Aye.
Ms. Manalo?
Aye. Thank you very much. Now moving on to council committee reports. Vice Mayor, do you have any council committee reports?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other colleagues have council committee reports?
No.
Okay, seeing none, moving on to city council reports. Seeing no city council reports, I will say that I just wanted to invite everyone to our first, this is going to be next month, our first Lunar New Year event here at City Hall. So everyone is welcome. It will be on Saturday, February 10th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. I hope you're doing okay, Madam City Clerk. Right here in our city halls. And for those of you that don't know, Daly City has its own Lions dance troupe. And it's actually incorporated in the city of Daly City. So they actually perform everywhere, and a lot of folks book them, but they made sure to be with us that morning, and happened to come across them at the Chinese Lunar New Year Parade in San Francisco, when they always participate there. So just inviting everyone, all is welcome. Let's celebrate together Lunar New Year. And then also wanted to say we did have our sister city a delegation that came from Izumanu, Japan. And thank you to Ceremony. I want to thank Marie, who's here from Ceremony, in collaboration to provide an opportunity to share one of their amazing, actually, the creation of the towel came from that specific town in Japan. And so, they wanted to share what they created. And we also are looking for more opportunities for cultural art exchanges. And you'll hear more of that in the future. And just wanted to share with everyone around that. And then also, I have more, but I'll share with it next time. I'll share the other items next time. Oh, that's also it. On March 18, we already have our State of the City. I hope that you will all join us here at City Hall. That is Monday, March 18 at 6 p.m. And so I look forward, and once again, everyone is welcome here at the People's City Hall. Thank you so much. Now I will turn it over to our staff.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I'd just like to thank the council for your continued confidence. The extension of 2 years creates for my staff and I for organizational stability, I will say, and gives us the opportunity to be effective and know that I will be here for an extended period of time. The other thing I'd like to point out is in the extension under compensation A, I did specifically ask the city attorney to put in the fact that the city manager will have the option to defer the increases. that were approved. And the reason that I wanted that in there is that if the financial situation or the picture for the city is not there, I'm not going to automatically take those increases that were approved tonight. So I just wanted to point that out for the council. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, City Manager Piccolotti. And before we go to our adjournment, I do want to acknowledge we have Tita Perla Abarientos in our audience who's been with us the whole evening. And I want to acknowledge, thank you for all that you do in our community for many, many decades. Our longest standing personnel board commissioner. So thank you so much for being here. And and acknowledgement of also PBRC staff, Liza, who always holds it down there. Thank you for being with us all throughout the evening, and everyone else that's been with us. It looks like we are actually, usually we're at 10:45, sometimes 11, sometimes close to 12. And so it's 9:40 p.m. And so thank you for joining us this evening. And with that, our next item is I will now do our in memoriam, and I will ask if there's any additions to in memoriam from Vice Mayor or Council Member Benaventura. Seeing none, Council Member DiGiovanni.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I talked to Marie Brisuela and she might be able to attend the next meeting and feel well enough to come to hear the adjournment with her daughter. So thank you.
Okay, so with that, then don't have an adjourn on memory. We will move that to another meeting. And with that, meeting adjourned.